In the store, to my surprise, Mom said she'd love to see how I looked with something more complete under my blouse. Instead of fearing her reaction at seeing me dressed up more fully, I found myself actually looking forward to sharing this side of me with her. When I arrived home, Mom was waiting at the door. But instead of asking to see the new items I'd picked up, she just stood there, amazed. She told me that when she first discovered I'd been experimenting with my wardrobe, she suspected I might be exploring a softer, more expressive side. But now, she was convinced that I genuinely enjoyed presenting myself this way. She asked, instead of just wearing something subtle, wouldn't you love to look polished and confident like this every day? I admitted to Mom that I would, that it made me feel more like myself. She said that if I followed her advice on how to gradually shift my style, I could eventually feel comfortable dressing this way in public, not just in private. She also reminded me that I had 4 more hours to enjoy my new look before my sister and Dad got home. Those next few hours were the most freeing I'd ever felt. Before dinner, Mom came up with a gentle plan to help me introduce this version of myself to my family. She told me to keep wearing the lighter blouse, styled jeans, and subtle makeup. She said that if anyone asked about my look, she would help explain everything in a calm and supportive way. My sister was the first to arrive. As soon as she stepped into the kitchen and saw me, the questions began. "Mom, why is Tara dressed like this?" she asked. As promised, Mom explained that I had gone to the mall to pick out a birthday gift for my girlfriend, and the store assistant had suggested I try something on to check the fit, since I mentioned we were about the same size. She told my sister that while I was trying it, the clerk encouraged me to stay in the fitting room and helped me build the full look with confidence. When Dad got home, Mom took him aside and explained everything quietly so I wouldn't feel awkward. Her calm and kindness helped set the tone for a more understanding evening. When Dad asked why I was dressed that way, in a blouse and makeup, Mom gently explained what had happened at the store. She added that when I came home, I looked so presentable that she thought it would be nice for me to stay that way for the rest of the evening. She also said my sister could give her opinion on whether the outfit I picked would make a good gift for my girlfriend. That explanation seemed to ease my father's initial surprise, and he didn't appear shocked to see me expressing myself in this new way. As we sat down for dinner, my sister couldn't help but comment, "Tara, I think it's really brave of you to go through this just to understand what girls experience. Honestly, the overall look is very convincing." Dad chimed in too, saying, "You're brave, but I have to ask, where did those additions come from?" Mom quickly explained that the store clerk had offered some fitting help to make sure the pieces would work well as a gift, especially since I mentioned that my girlfriend and I were a similar size. Mom did stumble a bit while explaining, but she managed to keep the story light and supportive. Then Dad shared something unexpected. He once dressed as a woman for Halloween, so he said he wasn't in any place to judge. He added, "Looking that put together, maybe next time you go shopping, you should just go fully dressed and avoid any awkward surprises." It felt like he was either giving permission or simply supporting my choice. Either way, it meant the world. Later that night, I started wondering, could this mean I could dress like this more openly now? The idea of wearing my favorite outfit for dinner the next day no longer felt scary. In fact, I began to picture it, sitting down for our Sunday meal after church, feeling free. So I told Mom that I'd love to dress up again for Sunday dinner, a polished look with a light blouse and a bit of style. She smiled and agreed. As soon as we returned from church, she brought me upstairs to help me pick out just the right outfit for the occasion. It felt like something new had begun. Mom suggested I wear something black, knowing it was one of Dad's favorite colors whenever she dressed up for a special occasion. She also remembered I'd mentioned wanting to wear something elegant and sheer, so she pulled out a soft, delicate blouse she'd been saving just for me, something light, stylish, and perfect for a memorable dinner. She said that since Dad had recently asked if he'd ever see me dressed this way again, this might be a good chance, though she wanted to keep it tasteful and subtle compared to my outfit from the mall trip. Along with the blouse, she suggested I wear more fitted jeans, simple shoes, and a soft, coordinated top underneath. When I put it all together, Mom beamed with joy. She hugged me and asked gently if I felt comfortable and confident, and I told her I truly did. She smiled and said that before dinner, we should take a little extra time to do my hair and makeup to complete the look. Otherwise, she joked, I might just look like a shy boy playing dress up instead of someone stepping into their own style. After she finished with my makeup and gave my hair a soft, flowing look, she stepped back and said, "Tara, the more I see you express yourself this way, the more I feel like this truly suits you. You shine when you feel like yourself." Then she added, "Come on, let's go show your father how lovely you look." Feeling nervous but excited, I made my way downstairs, with Mom right behind me. As I entered the dining room, my father looked up, and Mom, with a proud smile, said, "Well, honey, you asked if you'd ever see Tara like this again." Mom mentioned she had planned to return to the mall for a few more items but didn't want to keep Dad and my sister waiting too long. When Dad saw me, he was clearly stunned. He just stared for a moment, taking in the fact that I was presenting myself in a very different way, one that clearly caught him off guard. Still looking surprised, he said, "Well, it looks like you didn't wait long before deciding this was something you wanted to embrace." Then my sister chimed in, commenting on my overall look. "Tara," she said, "you know, if you're wearing something that light, it might be better to add a layer underneath so things don't stand out so much." Before I could respond, Mom gently interrupted, saying, "Tara knew that, but tonight, she wanted to be open, to see your real reactions." My sister hesitated, then admitted, "Well, you definitely pulled off the look. I hope the gift you're picking out works just as well for your girlfriend." But something in her voice told me she wasn't fully convinced by the buying a gift story. I think she and Mom both sensed what I hadn't yet fully said out loud, that this wasn't just about shopping for someone else. That was confirmed when she added, "Tara, honestly? You've been subtle about this for a while. I notice little things now and then, outlines through shirts, the way your clothes fit, but I didn't want to bring it up and make things awkward. But tonight? You look confident and comfortable, and I have to say, you're glowing. So if this is you, then go for it, girl." After dinner, Mom told me how proud she was. Not just that I'd worn something different, but that I did so openly, without fear. She said she was happy I trusted Dad and my sister enough to let them see this side of me again, and that Dad had been quietly moved by the way I carried myself. Then she smiled and told me that from now on, I shouldn't worry so much about how others in the house might react, that I should feel free to be myself without needing to hide or downplay it. I grinned and told her that soon we might need another mall trip, because I had a feeling I'd be embracing this part of myself more and more in public too. It was Thanksgiving, and Mom told me it would be a great opportunity to dress up again, not for a challenge this time, but because it made me feel like myself. She said our family always dresses nicely for Thanksgiving dinner, and this year, maybe I could take it a step further and wear something elegant and feminine. Curious, I asked her what she had in mind. She smiled and said we should take a trip to the mall to look for a few new things, perhaps some comfortable pieces and stylish touches that suited my growing confidence. She encouraged me to dress up a bit for our shopping trip, to go with the same polished look I had the last time we'd gone out together. Once I was dressed, Mom came in and helped with my makeup, carefully applying just enough to give me a soft, glowing look. Afterward, we headed to the mall and browsed through the clothing and accessories sections. She led me to some fitted slacks and said, "These would look great with your favorite blouse." I agreed to wear them for Thanksgiving, along with my usual go-to top. With a few new outfits picked out, we stopped by the makeup counter. Mom told me that since I was expressing myself more frequently this way, my look should reflect that. "It's not realistic," she said, "for you to wear these outfits while keeping a completely different appearance. It's easier for your dad and sister to understand when your style is complete and confident." Besides clothing, we picked up a full makeup kit so I could start learning to do things on my own. Once we got home, Mom sat me down and said, "Honey, expressing yourself is more than just changing clothes, it's about knowing how to carry yourself too. So I'm going to teach you how to do your makeup." She had me take off my blouse temporarily so I wouldn't get it stained during the lesson. After a few demonstrations, she asked me to try applying it lightly myself. Then she told me to put my outfit back on. It was clear she wanted me to feel more put together than ever before for Thanksgiving dinner. That night, as I got ready, I realized how far I'd come. Thanksgiving is a big occasion in our family, and this year, I was showing up as someone who finally felt whole. Mom told me she'd be dressing up more than usual, and she thought it was a great chance for me to do the same. So, we styled my hair, applied light makeup, and picked out a soft blouse, tailored slacks, and shoes that brought the whole look together for a special Thanksgiving dinner. Mom helped me select a polished outfit, one that made me feel graceful and confident. As a finishing touch, she gave me a light spritz of her favorite perfume before we headed to the table. Dad was the first to speak up, saying, "Tara, you look very nice tonight. I'm guessing those gifts you were shopping for didn't make it to your girlfriend, but no worries, you wear them well. Let's enjoy this beautiful Thanksgiving meal and remember to be grateful for all we have." My sister added, "That look really suits you, Tara. You've pulled it together so naturally. I bet Mom already told you how great you look." Dinner was amazing, and I felt truly seen and accepted, not just for what I wore, but for how happy and authentic I felt. Afterward, I thanked Mom for taking me shopping and helping me prepare. She smiled and told me that the complete look gave me a fresh, radiant appearance. With how well everything went, Mom suggested that I continue expressing myself more confidently, and even mentioned that I could surprise Dad and my sister by dressing up for church next weekend. She thought that for church, I could elevate the look even more, perhaps with a skirt instead of slacks to change the focus and bring a softer, classic style. So, the day after Thanksgiving, we went back to the mall. We browsed for a few more pieces and found several stylish skirts in colors like red, black, and brown, simple yet elegant options that would complement the rest of my wardrobe. Mom reminded me that I had always looked good in tailored outfits, and she was excited to see how I'd feel stepping out in a skirt for the first time. Since Sunday was fast approaching, I knew I had just one day to prepare for my debut in a new outfit, one that included my favorite blouse and a carefully chosen skirt. As Mom was laying out my outfit for Sunday, she mentioned that I should shave my arms and legs during my shower. She had a little surprise planned for afterward. Once I was done, she told me that while picking out the right outfit was part of getting ready, there were other thoughtful touches we should include to complete the look. It was easy to get caught up in deciding what to wear, but Mom helped me stay grounded by guiding me through each step. With a smile, she brought out a soft, neutral-toned nail polish and gently painted my fingernails and toenails. I woke up extra early that Sunday morning, knowing I wanted to present the best version of myself, which meant taking my time to prepare. Mom helped position everything so that my outfit fit comfortably and looked right. Then she asked me to sit down. She had one more detail to add. From a small box, she took out a pair of light, silky tights and helped me slide them on. The gentle texture and smooth finish made me feel elegant and polished. With my base outfit complete, including a well-fitted blouse and coordinated pieces, it was time to do my hair and makeup. Mom gave me soft waves and a light application of makeup that brought everything together. She then helped me pick out a white camisole to match my top, and chose a delicate blouse with ruffled accents for a classic finish. Just when I thought we were done, she added a short black skirt and a pair of dressy shoes with a small heel to complete the look. Feeling confident and excited, I walked downstairs, unaware that my sister was already watching from the living room. As I reached the bottom step, she smiled and said, "Well, sis, you really pulled it off. Your whole look feels complete today." Dad added, "It's clear someone has really embraced this style, and honestly, you look very sharp." Their words meant everything to me. For the first time, I felt seen, supported, and fully myself. As we got ready to leave for church, Mom smiled and said, "Let's go and share how proud we are of our daughter today." At church, I found it hard to concentrate during the service. My mind wandered, reflecting on how much had changed in the past few weeks, and how it felt to be seen in this new way. After the service, as we stepped outside, I noticed I was glancing down, distracted by my outfit rather than the people around me. My sister nudged me gently and joked, "Stop admiring your reflection. Come on, I want to introduce you to some of my friends." I tried my best to offer warm smiles as she introduced me to others, but part of me was still caught up in the whirlwind of thoughts from the day. I remembered something she had said earlier, how confidently I had carried myself, and how natural everything looked. That evening, once we got home, Mom told me how proud she was. She said I carried myself with such grace and authenticity that she thought I might be ready to express myself more consistently, even at school. When she asked how I felt about that, I admitted I'd love to try, but I also had concerns. "What about things like gym class?" I asked. Mom reassured me that if I chose to embrace this fully, she'd find a way to support me through it, even if it meant making adjustments at school. She explained that we'd take it slow, that changing how I presented myself would be a step-by-step journey. We'd start with small changes, growing out my hair, softening my wardrobe, and gradually building a style that reflected who I was becoming. She reminded me that confidence wasn't built overnight. She helped me begin by guiding my posture, showing me how to walk with poise, and encouraging subtle details like nail care or wearing soft-colored clothing that felt right for me. Before I could fully shift how I dressed in public, Mom helped me select gentle, everyday looks, silky shirts, comfortable jeans, and lightweight accessories that helped me ease into this new chapter. She also began teaching me how to communicate with more self-assurance, how to speak with intention and hold my head high. It wasn't easy to be patient. I was eager to live freely, to feel fully comfortable in my own skin every day. But I knew I had the support of someone who believed in me, and that made all the difference. This journey wasn't just about how I looked, it was about becoming someone who could walk into the world and feel proud of who they were. As much as I was excited to express myself at school, Mom reminded me that change had to feel natural, not only for me, but for the people around me. Her goal was to help me gradually build a look and presence that reflected who I was becoming, so when I finally felt ready to express myself more fully, it wouldn't come as a surprise to anyone. During this transition, I still got to express myself freely at home, but I was eager to reflect that same confidence in public too. To help me along the way, Mom encouraged small steps, like using a clear nail polish. But I was a little impatient and added a soft reddish tint one day, which didn't go unnoticed by a few of my classmates. One morning, as I was heading out the door, Mom smiled and said, "Tara, you're looking more confident and polished every day. I think it's time to take the next step." She suggested that starting tomorrow, I could try adding a light touch of makeup before school, just enough to complement my style. She also mentioned trying low heels at some point, as they'd help me walk with more grace and balance, something I'd noticed during that moment on the stairs with my sister. Over the next few months, Mom guided me through posture, speech, and presence, teaching me that expressing femininity isn't just about clothing, but how you carry yourself. Each week, she introduced one new element. Sometimes it was fitted jeans, other times a light mascara or subtle eyeliner. When she felt my classmates had grown comfortable with my evolving style, she'd gently introduce something new, maybe a change in accessories, or a slightly more colorful nail polish. Eventually, we introduced camisoles beneath my clothes, as a natural next step in layering. Mom said that as others grew used to seeing me this way, they'd begin to include me more, not because of what I wore, but because they saw my confidence. She believed that once others accepted me in this form, embracing who I was entirely, including my favorite outfits, would be a natural progression. In time, she added a few more finishing touches, light jewelry, a necklace, or a bracelet that made me feel put together. Then, something happened. On the third day I wore a camisole under my shirt. One of the more outgoing students in my sociology class, Sienna, noticed my outfit. After class, she came up to me with a curious smile. After class, Sienna approached me with a smile and said, "Tara, I've noticed you've really evolved lately. You've grown into your style, and honestly, you carry it beautifully." She told me some people had been curious about my changes, and while a few had jumped to conclusions, she had told them what she truly believed, that I was expressing myself in a way that made me feel more comfortable and confident. "I love the outfits you've been wearing lately," she continued. "And this week, it looks like you've been layering more intentionally. Your camisoles look great under those blouses." Then, in a softer tone, she added, "You know, most girls layer camis over more structured pieces. It gives the look a finished touch. If you're thinking of continuing this journey, it might be worth exploring that next step." She offered thoughtful advice on how to develop my style naturally, encouraging me to take it slow and be true to myself. "People may not understand at first," she said, "but once they see it's really you, they'll stop focusing on the why and just admire the confidence." I told Sienna that I had already started building a wardrobe at home and had been looking forward to expressing myself more publicly, but my mom wanted me to go at a steady pace so others could adjust and be accepting. Sienna was pleased to hear that my mom was supportive and suggested I talk to her about our conversation. The next morning, Mom surprised me by offering a new piece to wear, something subtle but affirming. Though it was understated, it helped me feel grounded in who I was. It didn't draw attention, but added to the authenticity of my look. Later at school, Sienna spotted me and gave me a quiet thumbs up. "That's a bold and beautiful move," she said. "You're doing this right." I felt incredibly uplifted. With every step, I was getting closer to feeling like the best version of myself. Sienna suggested that over the next few weeks, I should continue refining my look at a steady pace, allowing each step to feel natural before moving to the next. Her advice stayed with me: don't rush it, let people grow with you, not just watch you change. After several more weeks of gradually evolving my wardrobe, Sienna told me she thought my classmates had become so accustomed to my style that they'd barely notice continued changes, and that was the point. She encouraged me to continue expressing myself in a way that felt natural, reminding me that when you grow into your identity steadily, people respond with familiarity, not shock. I thanked her for her guidance, and admitted that I couldn't wait for the day when I'd be fully accepted, not just as someone exploring their style, but as someone being authentically seen. A few days later, I told Mom how much I was looking forward to being able to express myself more freely at school. She smiled and said it was time to bring out a bolder look, more color in my makeup, a bit of gloss, and a hairstyle that reflected how confident I'd become. At home, I had started presenting myself consistently in my chosen style, and both my sister and father had grown used to it. After all, my father had once been the one to ask if we'd be seeing this version of me again, and that meant more than words. The next time we went to the mall, Mom was incredibly supportive. She helped me explore new outfits that fit who I was, not just physically, but emotionally. She made it clear that this wasn't about fashion or image. It was about identity, and her love and support helped me feel grounded in that truth. By the time graduation neared, I had grown into myself. I wasn't just trying on styles anymore, I was living in them. More and more family friends began to see me in public, and instead of confusion, they offered kind words and encouragement. They told me how proud they were of how far I'd come and how naturally I carried myself. They said they knew early on that I was searching for something deeper, and now, they could see I'd found it. As graduation approached, Mom suggested I mark the occasion with a look that reflected not just my growth, but my joy. We went shopping for a polished outfit, elegant, classy, and unmistakably me. Instead of hiding or blending in, I wanted to celebrate the version of myself that had taken so long to emerge. The right outfit wasn't about impressing others, it was about honoring the journey. And when the day finally arrived, I didn't just walk across the stage in my cap and gown, I walked in confidence, fully and beautifully myself. On the big day, I was more prepared than ever to step fully into my identity. Mom, my sister, and I had carefully picked out an outfit that was elegant and celebratory: soft blouse, styled hair, a graceful skirt, and a touch of shimmer in my makeup. Mom smiled warmly and said, "You're going to shine today, sweetheart. You've come a long way." My sister helped me get ready, offering encouragement and adjusting the details with care. "You really carry yourself like you were born for this," she said. "Not just because of what you wear, but because of how confident you've become." We all laughed and shared a moment of light-hearted fun, teasing each other like sisters often do. Then, my sister shared something unexpected. One of her classmates, June, had mentioned that I looked confident and poised lately, and had asked if she thought I might be open to going out sometime. I was surprised, but also touched. For the first time, I realized that someone might see me, not for how I used to be, but for who I am now. I told my sister that if someone ever did take an interest in me, I'd hope it would be for the person I am, not just for how I look. She nodded and said, "He'd be lucky to know you, Tara." A week later, I walked into the house beaming. "Mom," I said, "I've been asked to dinner and dancing this Saturday." She hugged me tightly and replied, "We're going to make sure you feel like the most radiant person at that dance." That evening, the three of us prepared everything together: outfit, accessories, makeup, and a few finishing touches to help me feel both beautiful and comfortable. I looked at myself in the mirror, and for the first time, I didn't feel like I was playing dress up. I felt like me. As I took a deep breath, my heart pounding with anticipation, the doorbell rang.